Right now on Up with KREM, if you're having trouble finding a COVID-19 test, you're not alone. This is a major issue across our entire region right now. Nicole Hernandez is joining us live from the Spokane Arena with what local health leaders have to say.
Yeah, that's right. So the Department of Health actually says the surge in COVID-19 cases is causing this lack of testing in our area. I'll explain whether or not we're going to see more testing coming up.
A dangerous reality for parents in our area. Frustrated health leaders say our hospitals have never been this stressed.
Breaking point that we've ever been.
The chief medical officer says anyone who thinks getting vaccinated is a personal choice is wrong.
And of course, we're going to take you outside. It's a cool, clear morning with temperatures starting to drop.
Up with KREM begins now.
The U.S. has just passed a very grim milestone. 1 in 500 Americans have died from COVID-19. That's more than 663,000 people. Good morning and thank you for joining us on Up with KREM on this Thursday. I'm Channing Curtis. Now this morning, Spokane hospitals are being stretched to their limits as COVID-19 cases surge in the inland Northwest. One day after stopping all elective surgeries, Providence's chief medical officer says Spokane hospitals have never been this stressed.
We're dealing with an emergency that just keeps getting worse and worse and worse, and we're not sure where it's going to end.
Right now, Washington State is seeing the highest rates of COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations since the start of the pandemic. Currently, Spokane has 18 patients on ventilators in the ICU. During a press conference yesterday, Dr. Dan Getz said none of these patients are vaccinated.
When you're unvaccinated and you get put on a ventilator for COVID, the odds of you getting off of that and living, it's roughly 60% chance of dying. It's like a flip of a coin, basically. Are you going to live or going to die?
He says normally Providence is able to accept about 90% of transfer requests, but now they're only able to accept about half of those. Across the state line, North Idaho hospitals are still in critical care mode. Kootenai Health is treating 108 COVID-19 patients right now. At least 33 are in critical care and 14 are on ventilators. Those on the front line say many of the people they're treating for COVID did not think this would happen to them.
If they're able to talk, if they're not on a ventilator, a lot of them say, I didn't think that it would be me who's sitting in this bed. I thought it was either all political or all a hoax or just people who are in poor health or maybe don't take care of themselves as well who are getting this sick.
Health leaders are saying they're seeing 10 to 15 new COVID-19 patients a day since last month. Kootenai Health says 87% of its COVID patients have not been fully vaccinated, and most have not even had a first dose. Well, now, if you've tried to find a COVID-19 test recently, you've probably been hard-pressed to find any available appointments. And this issue isn't just happening here locally, but across our entire region right now. So Nicole Hernandez is joining us live this morning. She spoke to some local health leaders about their plans to continue COVID testing in our area. Good morning, Nicole. What did they have to say about the lack of COVID tests available?
Yeah. Good morning, Channing. So really, it's a surge of COVID-19 cases that is causing a lot of trouble, including trouble with our testing right now. So I'm live right now at the Spokane Arena, where, if you remember, it was actually a huge COVID-19 testing site. It was the largest in our area. But now people can't find COVID-19 tests, and if you do find the tests, they're actually booked out way out. So they was able to speak with the Spokane Regional Health District about this issue and ask them if they're planning on putting more testing in our area in the future. They said Spokane Regional Health District is working with Washington State Department of Health to try to set up a drive-through community test area. They're asking for that to happen as soon as possible, but SRHD doesn't know when or if that will actually happen. So we went straight to the source. The Department of Health says as of now, they're actually not planning on opening up more free mass testing sites like the one at the Spokane Arena.
When we get to this level, all of our systems get stretched. We're all facing staff shortages, and the people that administer tests are similar people and types of healthcare professionals that administer vaccines, and they're the same folks that work in our hospitals and our clinics across the state. So
The Department of Health says the federal government could be stepping in to help across the country. They do have some community-based testing sites across the state, and they're hoping to have more open up soon, but the whole system is really strained right now. So to help out as a community, we need to get COVID-19 cases down. That means getting vaccinated, wearing masks, and social distancing. In the meantime, while we're in this testing shortage, if you do need a COVID-19 test, Spokane Regional Health District says that if you need a test specifically because you have COVID-19 symptoms or because you've been exposed to COVID-19, that you should be calling your doctor's office. If you need a test specifically just for an event or travel or something like that, then you should be reaching out to local pharmacies or doing at-home tests. In Spokane, I'm Nicole Hernandez.
Now we know we just gave you a lot of information to process this morning. So if you'd like to read more about any of these stories, we're making it easy for you. All you have to do is text the word COVID to 509-448-2000. We'll send those articles and all of that information directly to your phone. All right, the time is now 7:05. Jeremy Legoo, let's get a look at the forecast as people are getting ready to head to work, head to school. I know it's pretty chilly out there this morning, so it might be a good time to pull out the big coat out of the back of your closet.
You know, I actually saw a little comic yesterday and it said 70 degrees in spring, and it was a person wearing shorts and a t-shirt going, "Oh, this is awesome." And it said 70 degrees in fall, and that same person was bundled up in the biggest coat they own. And I said, I kind of agree, because when it comes to temperatures early this morning, you're going, you know, I know what that feels like, but when you step out the door in Deer Park at 30 degrees, you go, okay, that's a bit chilly. And we're in the 30s all across North Idaho into parts of Montana. Here in Spokane, it says 42. That's at the airport. Parts of town dipping down into the 30s. You don't have to go too far to find some really chilly temperatures. How about the top of Dishman Hills where all those towers are? It says it's 29 there right now. You're up in Newport, 30 degrees there. Priest River, 32 degrees. It is a chilly start to Thursday morning. That's the reason we have all those frost advisories and freeze warnings in place. As for the temps falling into the 30s, where you're in the dark blue, Republic, Colville, Newport, Deer Park, you're down below the 32-degree mark. It's a chilly one, and that's thanks to radiative cooling, but radiative cooling means we have clear skies overhead. Those clear skies and calm wind take us through the day, and they help our temperatures climb by near 30 degrees. So this afternoon, we warm up big time from where we are now. However, that still means we top out in the 60s later on today. Upper 60s for us here in the inland Northwest.
Definitely a day to bundle up. Thanks, Jeremy. It's now time for your morning rush. More news in less time. A big reward is now being offered to find a missing Tulalip Indigenous woman. Mary Johnson, also known as Mary Davis, went missing last November. Her family has put up billboards with her photo in hopes of finding answers.
Now that she's disappeared, we don't know where she's at, if she's dead or alive. It'd just be nice to have her back.
Police say she was on the way to a friend's home but never arrived. They believe at some point she was taken to Oso, Washington. The FBI is now offering a $10,000 reward for any information leading to who was responsible for her disappearance. The United States Army is announcing it has started the process of vaccinating all soldiers against COVID-19. The Army is expecting all active duty soldiers to be fully vaccinated by mid-December and all reserve as well as National Guard units to be fully vaccinated by June of next year. A nationwide bus driver shortage is impacting students in Spokane public schools. A spokesperson for Durham School Bus Services says they can't pinpoint why there's a shortage, but they are confirming that 11 drivers have resigned since the Washington vaccine mandate announcement. SPS parents are also saying students' buses are picking them up late or sometimes not at all.
I get text messages from the schools when buses are late, and I'm getting these messages daily that buses are late picking kids up in the morning, which means that they're out waiting, which is safety problems. Yesterday at the elementary school, there was a bus that was an hour late picking the students up.
SPS says they're aware of the issue and they sent out a text alert as well as an email stating that Durham is looking for substitute and permanent bus drivers. A memorial service honoring a Grant County Sheriff's deputy who died from COVID-19 complications will be held today. John Melvin served more than 3 decades in law enforcement. He'll be honored with a procession of emergency vehicles before the service at 1 o'clock. The memorial service will be live streamed on the Grant County Sheriff's Department Facebook page. That's your Morning Rush. More news in less time. Let us know what's happening in your neighborhood by using the hashtag #UpWithKREM on social media. In our next half hour, we've heard from several doctors who say that the vaccine should not be a personal choice due to our hospital crisis right now. And this morning, we want to hear from you. Do you agree or disagree that the vaccine should be a personal choice? You can vote right now in our live Twitter poll. You can also text us your opinions to 509-448-2000. We'll be sharing your messages all morning long on Up with KREM.